Hi everyone on YouTube, this is Michael Coffey from Wilderness Survival School here in Clarny. Now I want to talk to you about a few things that I've discovered and a few things that I've learned. The first thing I want to talk to you about is a grid down situation. Now if a coronal mass ejection hits from the sun, it will knock out the power grid. And I think there was two documentaries made about blackouts. The one is American Blackout, the other is sorry, I excuse me for coughing. I still have a flu. But the other one is called Blackout UK. Both give accounts of people without power. Now, what can we take from a blackout occurring where you have absolutely no power? First thing is that you need to realise that with no electricity you won't be able to charge your phones, you won't be able to do much of anything, especially your fridge. If you have a shower, you won't be able to use the shower. Your washing machine, your dishwasher, anything that relies on power, especially lights, heating, whether it be electric heaters or anything that requires a power source. In a blackout situation, they're going to become useless unless you have an alternative power method. Now, take in for account the power. What alternative power can you generate in a blackout situation? Flashlights and batteries. Batteries are a great way of generating power without electricity. That's why I suggest that you have rechargeable batteries and constantly make sure that they're charged. This way you can ensure that you have light that you can see. Candles, solar powered battery charger, solar power flashlight, or you could have a lantern that would a wind up lantern or a wind up radio. There's a lot of different ways that you can generate power, but do store up on batteries. Batteries are going to be a must-have in a blackout situation. Another thing would be cooking. How would you cook in a blackout? Having a gas cooker would be absolutely amazing to have. I have a gas cooker, so if a CME does hit, I'm still able to cook food. And what I find also that I have another advantage is that I don't have a dishwasher, so that's a great thing. But also in a blackout situation, normally our water is pumped to us, and that requires electricity to pump the water. Now, in a blackout situation, you could find out that the water will be cut off. So use that opportunity before the water is turned off to collect as much of it as you can. Because it's very important to have drinking water. And if you have a bath, I suggest that you don't fill it up with the water from the bath. Just go to your kitchen sink, start filling up water, and start bringing it to the bathroom and put it into the bed. That way, you don't have to worry about the water, about disinfecting the water, purifying it. It's coming from your kitchen. It's coming from it's tap water, not from the bathroom, but from the kitchen. And this is a great thing that I would suggest that most people do, is that don't use the water in your bathroom, because you have to purify it. It takes a lot of purifying tablets to purify that water. It is more efficient to take the water from your tap in the kitchen, buy a pot or a big basin, and bring it to your bathroom and put it into the bath. It means that you do not have to disinfect that water. That this water will be safe to drink. Also, have a good medical plan in case of a blackout situation where you can't get to the hospital. I would advise you to have a good medical plan in place so that you would be able to go to an A&E so that if you can't make it to A&E accident and emergency department, that you'll be able to look after yourself. Because the main reason why you need to look after yourself in a situation like a blackout of where there is no power. The problem is that hospitals rely on the power grid, but they also have diesel or petrol generators that would automatically kick in. But the problem is, once the power grid goes down, you find that most of the pumps rely on electricity to pump that fuel into either cars or into petrol canisters. See, it's the pump that is driven by electricity that brings that petrol and allows you to pour it into the petrol can or into your vehicle. Without power, you will find that petrol stations won't be able to pump out the pumps be out of use. Also, in a blackout situation, you could find out that petrol stations could be sold out of petrol. So that rules out going to the hospital for help. How will you then deal with an injury to yourself? 1. Have a very good medical trauma kit. 2. Go away and get some training while you still have time in either first aid, cardiac first responder, or emergency first responder. Normally these courses would be free if you go join an organisation like the Order Morte or St. John Ambulance or the Red Cross or the Civil Defence. the training will be free for you. You will also get the experience also. Now, what you can do also is prepare by storing up food and having a backup plan. Try and encourage your friends, family and other people around you to the dangers that we face by telling them about there could be an economic collapse, World War III, there could be a natural disaster, it could be a nuclear power plant that goes up, and fallout. You have to worry about fallout. It could be a CME, an X-flare from the sun that could strike the earth and wipe out the power, or it could be a nuclear attack. There is a lot of situations that can put your life in danger. Now you can either ignore it or you can prepare for it. That's the great thing I see about being prepared, is that I know if something does happen, that I'll be able to deal with it. That it could be that situation that you're put into. We must also remember key elements of what might happen. For instance, about if martial law is brought in, a curfew has been put into place. How about if your town or your city has been blocked off, that you can't leave your particular location? What are you going to do then when you have no way out? You have to devise a plan. And that plan will consist of, if there is a barbed wire, a wall of barbed wire blocking you from escaping your town or your city, what you must do is this: have wire cutters, have sticks, have 2 sticks, and now what I want to tell you how to cut the barbed wire. What you gotta do is you have to keep that tension on that wire, so when you do cut the wire, that they won't notice it. Right. Also, you need to do this most important part of the cutting of the wire, is that you must keep the tension of the wire, because what you're going to notice, that wire is going to be under tension. So there could be a sensor there that would alert the military or FEMA or the Department of Homeland, the DHS, of that there's someone after cutting this wire. So what you gotta do is make sure there's tension, that you keep that tension on the wire. Cut the wire, and if it's 2 lots of wire, make sure that you have enough sticks to keep the tension. And when you do cut the wire, you gotta make sure to move fast. Now, also this brings into a great thing. Keep your bug-out bag lightweight. Keep it a 72-hour bug-out bag. Because if you're going to a place that's 3 days away, to a bug-out location, what I've done myself personally is that I've stocked up food and water at a bug-out location. so that I don't have to carry everything with me. It's already at another location. Now, if my town gets it's being cordoned off, that I can't leave, I'm going to find a way to leave, but I will also travel lightweight, so when I do cut that wire, or whatever barrier is put up that I get through, that I'll be able to move fast. Now, this where S.e.r.e. comes in: survival, evasion, resistance and escape. You have to put those principles into plan first. You gotta escape. You have to escape your town or city. Then you're going to have to evade either the military, agents from FEMA, to DHS. You also might have to evade the police. Now, they could be at you, so you have to evade them. This brings in a second key. You got to know how to survive, because if you're on the run, you got to be smart. You got to know what you're doing, and survival training will help. Now, the resistance part comes into play is that you're going to have to resist. Resist capture at all costs, because you could be brought to labour or death camp, so you have to resist. When this situation does happen, first of all, you have to escape. Cut the wire, cut the fencing if you have to, but make sure to retain the tension on it, so that whoever is doing the patrols, when they come to do the patrol, that they won't notice that the wire has been cut as they're doing their patrol, because the tension is retained. So by the time they get to that spot, you should have a head start. Now, that's the escape covered. Now comes the evasion part of it. They now know that somebody has escaped through their fencing. What they're going to do is they're going to get a search party or a capture party in place, where they're going to try and track you down. This is why you have to use whatever method you can to hide your trail as much as possible. Also, use rivers, streams, whatever you can. Basically, to try and hide your tracks. Also, if you are walking through woodland and your shoes are covered in muck, I suggest you walk down one part of the road first, so that your footprints will show that you walk down this direction. Keep doing that until you no longer leave mud marks on the road, and head through the forest, head back up the road. But this time, veer off to the opposite woods. This will give the illusion that you walk the other way. Head the opposite of your footprints that you left on the road. Head opposite to them and keep going that way. Now, the survival part, you're probably not going to be able to light a fire, or you're not going to be able to cook food. So my advice to you is pack food that would not require you to cook it, like tinned tuna, some foods that are like bars, like protein bars, or other things that would not involve cooking. Now the resistance part, if you encounter a group who is literally tracking you, you have to think rapid and make sure that you have an idea in your head of how to resist them, how many is there, because you must resist capture. What you have to do is develop a plan quite clearly and how you're going to do this, because if you do get captured, it will mean that you could possibly die or be forced into a labour camp. So please do put enough planning into your escape from that town or city to your bug out location. This has been Michael Coffey from Clardy Survival School. Thanks very much for watching.